Keep Trekking is not just a channel, it's an adventure. So get your boots on and come with us. It's worth the journey. Experience your local landscape. Breathe the air this ancient land has to give us. So let's go. Welcome to Keep Trekking. Welcome back if there's been a four. Today I'm going to do Lower Bradfield circular walk. Starting here at Bradfield Village Hall. Let's go on a journey. After leaving the village hall, I walked down a path called the Sands, over a white metal bridge which spans what looks like a river, is actually the link between Agden and Damflask reservoirs. At the end of the bridge, I turn right along a very uneven path, which you will need to watch your footing as it can be very dangerous, especially in the wet weather. Soon the path turns to its right over a wooden bridge which is named Kirk Bridge. Across the bridge are a set of steps. The path for a wee while follows the Sheffield Country Walk. A nice wee visitor came to see me on this point of my trek. Continue walking up the steps until the very top. Here you will need to turn left at the post. Continue walking along the path until you come to another set of steps. Take the steps and follow the path past the wooden fence on your left hand side. Once at the end of the path, turn left and follow Smallfield Lane towards Agden Reservoir. Agden was completed in 1869. It holds 559 million gallons of water. Agden means Valley of the Oak Trees. Opposite side of Millfield Lane is a horse trough, still in good condition today. This is Agden Reservoir. It's one of four around Bradfield area. You've got this one, Strines, Damflask, and obviously the famous Dale Dyke. The Dale Dyke's the one that burst its banks and flooded Sheffield. Well, hills were part of it, the valley, back in the 19th century. As I got to the end of the reservoir, I took the path to my left. I went through the gate and over a wee wooden step bridge onto the path side of the reservoir. I followed the path past the oak trees, trying not to stand on all the acorns. Looks like I've stumbled across a little fire, and that is still smouldering. So whoever has been here ain't been here long. Since anyway. Oof, I can still smell the smoke, so that's still smouldering, is that? And a rope swing. I don't think I'll bother. I'm not sure how safe that is. I think I'll get that on a body sweep. Over the wall and up that path. I continued following the path. It becomes narrower and more sketchy. This track is definitely a good weather track. Definitely recommend spring and summertime. Don't forget to look up at the trees, at the wildlife. can take you by surprise and is very quick, as you can see with this squirrel. Blink and it's gone. Also, watch out for dogs off leads. As I continue along the path, it suddenly becomes clear it ends abruptly. It left me no choice but to scale the fence. Once on the track, I headed west alongside Hobson Moss Dyke towards Agden Bog Nature Reserve.
Agden Reservoir, it's not very wide, it's quite long though. It stretches for quite a while, probably about half a mile maybe. It's not mega big. It's probably the smallest of the three reservoirs as I'm heading up towards Dale Dyke.
Looking over the wall down onto Hobson Moss Dyke, there is a wooden bridge that takes you over the river, but this isn't my destination today. I'm following the track up towards the nature reserve. A few people chilling in the afternoon sun. A welcome bench, but it's too early in the trail, so I keep moving. A beautiful stone-built bridge over the dike. Walking over the bridge, I looked over in deep contemplation at the river below. As I looked upstream, it was calming and very peaceful indeed. After leaving the bridge, I headed southwards on a path that led me uphill. It was nice to see everything so green and lush. Suddenly I came to a fork in the paths. I chose the right-hand path. This path was narrow but was the correct path for my route for today's trek. I suddenly entered Windy Bank Wood. As I travelled the path, it was lovely to see the flowers in bloom. Always a nice sight and fills the soul with enlightenment. I continued and came to another bridge. The bridge had 4 blocks inlaid. I couldn't get the meaning of this, but I'm sure there must be an explanation. I continued on my walk as the path once again took me uphill. A wee waterfall is always a pleasure to see, even if it just comes out of a plastic pipe. As I came out onto Windy Bank, I turned left and walked about 100 yards. I came across a private drive but was open to walkers. This was on my right. I walked up the drive while watching the sheep in a distant field to my left. Eventually I came across a ladder type stile and I proceeded to cross. I stood for a moment at the top to admire the amazing view of the valley below. Once over, I followed the path to my left along the side of the wall and headed uphill.
Let's look down towards Loxley Valley. You realise how high up you are here. It's quite exposed. And buildings down at the bottom with the red roofs. That place is called Wood Seats. Looks like they replaced the roofs, but it's derelict. Maybe use it as storage for the cattle, maybe. Who knows? We're heading towards 11 Acre Woods.
I paused for a moment to look across to Wilkin Hill before I continued on my way down the path. As I went through the gates, I turned right towards the road. As I arrived on Mortimer Road, I crossed with caution, as this can be a very busy road during the day. I soon came across my path on my right. I proceeded over the stile at side of the Black Gate. I followed the track uphill, which seemed like an eternity. I thought it was never going to end. I eventually came across a single standing stone, possibly a waymarker for travellers of bygone years. As I looked across at the Peak District National Park, I could only revel in its bleakness and wonder. Leaving the stone, I went through a gate on my left, across a field full of heather. Following the wall and a sketchy path, I needed my whole concentration. The path was bad at times and not very easy to follow.
Just jumped over that wall at the back of me. I'm supposed to be turning left here, but I think I'm going to go right, because apparently there's an old site of Thorncliffe's house, of Thorncliffe. I'm going to go and see if I can find it before I head back down that way. It's about 200 yards, it says. Let's go and see if I can find an old house, or remains of. According to the map, this is the location where Thornseat House used to stand. I don't know if that's anything to do with it. Don't mistake it for Thornseat Lodge, which is further down, which is also abandoned, but still stands. Apparently this is the location where the house used to be, according to the map anyway. It's a shame there's no left. Now I'm not sure if that's anything to do with it, or if that's modern. Not too sure. Anybody knows though? Drop us a comment.
After getting back on track and passing the Xmas trees on my left, I'm now looking for my path to my right. Finding my route, I am now entering the Fitzwilliam Wentworth Estate. This is a permissive footpath, so be warned, it can be closed at any time. Walking through these woods is like walking through a fairy tale. Tall trees, narrow paths, and can get quite dark in places. I eventually came out onto a proper track used by the park's forestry. I followed the track to my left for about 100 yards. I came across a road that had no name, but my route was straight across. I followed the yellow arrow and continued through the woods. As I looked round the woods, I came to a clearing. This was obvious that some tree felling and tree management is in progress.
Looks like some giant beastie of an animal's come flying down here at some point. Wow, some big beast of the forest. Obviously doing a lot of felling work. They've had big machinery down here, but I'm heading straight forward, sort of that direction.
The sun is finally breaking through and it's nicely warming up. As I came to a clearing, I was greeted by the most blazing green, almost hurt my eyes. I continued to follow the waymarker along the path. The path all of a sudden became very windy and sometimes hard to follow. I came across some strange buildings and thought of some sort of commune, but suddenly realised what it was and wasn't a commune after all.
I've just realised what that place is. It's the shooting, the paintball place. The shooting in progress. All this land on the other side of the wire. You can see the wire there. It's all the paintball place. I've seen it as I've been going over to Strines and over to into Derbyshire, going over towards Ladybower. I think they're coming up to the gate, not far off, but they've got all that land, and that's what that building is. Them places further back. Wondered what it was. Now I know.
As I passed the main entrance to the paintball site, I crossed over. Finally came to my path that I needed, as I could look up and see some of the paintball places that is set up. I turned left and headed back down towards Mortimer Road. I left the park and went over the stile and crossed once again Mortimer Road. I followed a track down towards Strines Reservoir. Boots Folly, overlooking the Strines Reservoir, was built in 1927 by Charles Boot. It has a few names like Strines Tower or Sugworth Tower, but its real name is Boots Folly. This place has a very strange name to say how beautiful the location is. It's called Brogging End. Whoever named it that, I'll never know. I continue with my gentle stroll down Hall Lane, down towards the reservoir. I'm not sure what that place is called, but it has holiday lets. Now walking down the steps towards the public footpath towards Hull's Wood. that you could see in the distance.
It's been a nice walk today. You see the tower in the background. I explained that earlier. It's been a lovely walk, this one. It's 7.3 miles. Bradfield circular, not Bradford. I'm going to today's shout out goes to a very special person. He's going through a lot of problems at the moment with one thing or another, and I think he deserves a shout out, even though he's part of the channel. He runs his Facebook page. He does a very good job with the photos. He'll admit himself he's not the most approachable speaking type of person when it comes to videos, but he's a top fella and he deserves a shout out for what he does with Facebook and other things he's dealing with in his life at the moment. So Phil, bro, today's shout out is for you. Love you, kidder.
Walking through Hall's Wood, I come to a stone wall. As I turn left, I come across a bridge. After crossing the bridge, I am greeted with a mass of bluebells. I thought these would have gone by now, but they are clinging on in these woods. A beautiful sight to see. I've now reached the back end of the Dale Dyke Reservoir. Again, the path is very sketchy and you really must watch your footing on here, especially if it's icy or a wet day. In 1864, the day after the dam was full, the dam wall failed. 690 million gallons cascaded down Loxley Valley and created the Sheffield flood. Over 5,000 properties was destroyed, killing 244 people as well as livestock. One of the biggest tragedies in dam history. But today it's a beautiful, peaceful place where you can sit and contemplate. And sit and contemplate I did. A well-welcomed bench to eat my food. Can't beat a bit of scran.
Just had a pit stop, had my food, had my scran, my fodder, whatever you want to call it. The sun's come out, the sky is cleared, absolutely gorgeous now. Got about a mile and a half, possibly 2 miles, till I get back out of this 7.3 miler. Really enjoying it. I'm just walking at the side of Dale Dyke Reservoir at the moment. Paths a bit sketchy, but you know. But look at that. I ain't arguing. Oh, beautiful. Wonder if we're going to get the temperatures we got last year. Very much doubt that. But let's just hope we get a good June, July and August. But the way these months are going and this year's flying, it'll soon be Christmas. Just thought I'd cheer up.
After eating my scran, I came across a signpost that headed me to my right. I came to a wall with a brick stile, went over the stile and headed to the lane in front of me. I followed the lane, which was a nice wooded path and not sketchy. I came to a junction of two paths and I turn left. This is called Roger Lane. It's more like a path than a lane, but hey ho, who am I to name things? To my left is Rag House Plantation. I came across a gate. Unfortunately it was locked, so over the brick stile I go. As I came to the road, I checked for traffic, as this is a very tight road. I turned left and headed down. This is called Blindsdale Lane. The cottage to my left is called Broom's Cottage. With the type of woods that I've been through today, I really hope there's no witches that live there.
Right, it's like being in Scotland. Beautiful beasties.
Where the Highland cows are, all this area is called Bradfield Dale. A nice clearing that you can see on both sides, which run right down at the back of this house. I don't know what the farm's called. There's no name on the map or information. As I continue down Blindsdale Lane, I eventually come to my stile on my right hand side. I'm still following the Sheffield Country Walk as I look across the field to the tree area in the distance. As I look down the field at Annick Bridge, which is at the junction between Blindsdale Lane and Annick Lane. The bridge spans the Dale Dyke. At the end of the field, white blossom is in bloom. It's in abundance and it's everywhere. As I follow another wooded path, which is adjacent to the Dale Dyke River down below. The path is not so sketchy this time, but is really steep on one side, so still have to watch your footing. I come across a wee stone crossing with a stone stile that looks across another field that I have to cross. To get to the end of the field, I come to another locked gate with another stone stile I have to cross. Still following the Sheffield Country Walk, I head on to Plumpton Lane that takes me back to the top side of Bradfield. As I come out of Plumpton Lane onto Mill Lee Road, I could smell food, and then I soon realised where I was. I was opposite the Plough, a good establishment of food and drink. The food smelled absolutely gorgeous, but I resisted on this trip. As I continue walking down Mill Lee Road, I look across to the old waterworks buildings where they're now building apartments.
I was heading towards the village of Bradfield. Got Holy Chapel at the back of me, and then the Wesleyan Chapel across the road. How many chapels does one village want? No, but on a serious note, I think they're both apartments now. That one, Wesleyan Chapel's definitely apartments, and there was cars outside the other one across the road. So I presume that they're both, like most Methodist places these days, are apartments and flats.
As I get into the lower Bradfield itself, there's a wee park at the side of the river where you could have picnics or just chill on a nice hot summer's day. To get to the crossroads between Mill Lee Road and Smithy Bridge Road, I cross the bridge over the river towards Bradfield Park. To cross over the road, mainly for safety, I'd have a quick look over the wall towards Bradfield Bowling Club. The turf looks absolutely beautiful. My dad could probably tell you what turf is used. As I take my last left-hand turn for the day onto Woodfall Lane, I contemplate about the trip I have just taken. Wonderful trip, beautiful scenery, gorgeous paths, bit sketchy at times, but a truly wonderful day out. Really love this one. I hope you have too.
So I'm very back at the start. 7.3 miles completed. Love that one. It's a gorgeous day now. The sun's out. I never managed to get a plane on my shot, but there we go. I managed to get some sheep. Can't win them all. Bradfield, beautiful place. If you've never been to Bradfield and you are around these parts, it's always worth just calling in the village. It is beautiful. Really is stunning. So I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Keep trekking. Trek on. Till next time. Take care of yourselves. Really is a lovely park, I've got to say.